Now, one of the abiding realities of Nigerian politics is that young voters rarely participate actively in elections. They talk about what they'd like to see happen, they whinge and moan on social media, but many don't bother to actually vote. And that's because many feel they don't have much of a stake in Nigerian society and their vote simply won't count. But there are signs this could change in 2023, with several polls showing a higher level of interest among young voters. One online survey suggested this was because young people were deeply dissatisfied with their elected representatives and were therefore unusually motivated to vote in 2023. Well, the relatively young Nigerian politician, Ahmed Buhari, no relation to the other one, has been fired with enthusiasm for Nigerian politics, so much so that he ran for president in 2019 and is now the vice presidential candidate of the African Democratic Congress. He's still under 45 and seems to think he can help his party bridge the gap between the youth, the progressives, and the older generation. And Ahmed Buhari joins me now in the studio. Thank you so much for coming in, and congratulations. Congratulations are in order. You know, you're a vice presidential candidate, but I mean, politics is getting to be an addiction for you, isn't it? I mean, more especially running for high office. You ran for president in 2019, and now you're the vice presidential candidate under the ADC. What keeps you coming back?
So the thing is, a lot of people do not know my story. And I try to keep it on the background most times just because I believe that we've got a lot of work to do. But sincerely, I think the reason that why I'm being driven by all of this is because of where I come from. I'm a young man who lost his father at the age of 13. My mother was bestowed with the responsibility of raising 6 of us, and I was the first. So I know what it means to be through the worst. I know what it means to not be sure what you're going to eat. I know how she worked so hard to see that we go to school, to see that we graduate. In fact, when you ask me how all of those years went by, I cannot really explain. So I do know the pains of a widow. I know the pains of a young man who wasn't sure of what was going to happen next in his life, but somehow we've pulled through. So I sit down here as a living testament to every young person who is almost hopeless right now, to say to them, look, be steadfast and you can do it. I keep telling everybody, you know, it's sad that I still go to places and people ask which Buhari does he belong to, and then when they think of you as not one of the elites, they are reluctant to want to be part of your support base and stuff like that. But I sit down here today and I say to every young Nigerian out there, it is possible.
Right. And you clearly have age on your side. I mean, I understand you're still under 45. I mean,
that's correct.
Is that likely to make any difference in terms of mobilizing support for your party among the youth of Nigeria?
Most definitely. A lot of young people are truly disenchanted with all that's going on in the country, whether it's with the two ruling political parties or any of the side.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean they're going to vote for you, though, does it?
It does not mean they're not going to vote for me. I just need to sell what we're going to be offering to them properly. It has got to be clear, it has got to be precise, and it has got to tickle their fancies. They have to get to the point where they will see that though the system has made our generation believe that we cannot do anything, we have got nothing to offer, but indeed amongst us there are some people who have decided to break all of those norms and say to the world, yes, we can. And that is why we're doing this today.
So what would you say is likely to define this election? Will it be defined by issues such as insecurity, the economy, etc., or by something else?
It's going to be defined by what plans we have, true, genuine, idealistic plans, because a lot of people come and talk about things like, I'm going to sort this out in 100 days. This is going to be sorted out in 3 months. Realistically, we will have to talk about the issues in ways that Nigerians will not be fooled anymore. And then most importantly, I believe young people are really clamoring for somebody who feels their pain, somebody who lives in their time. Because the biggest problem that has happened to our country is that we have been failing consistently to transfer the baton from one generation to the next generation at the right time. And this vacuum that has been created as a result of this lack of transfer of the baton is what has caused a huge vacuum that has been filled with all of the mess you see in the country today. So it's not just happening today, it's been a huge pile of time that has created all of the issues that we're unable to resolve right now, especially for a generation of people who only know how to do the things that they're doing from the ideas that have come with from the last 40, 50 years. It's not going to happen in 2022. We need new people. We need fresh ideas. We need people who truly understand this country. And for someone like me, people have asked me what's the driving force, and I keep telling them, I can't go anywhere. You're different from me, Charles, but I'm going to be here.
Don't point at me. don't make any references to me. This is about you, mate.
On a serious note, I don't have two passports here. My children don't have two passports. We live here. We belong here. We've got to fix this.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. We all have to fix it. It doesn't matter whether you've got two passports or one. We have a responsibility to our country.
Correct.
But what is the main issue that your party would deal with as a matter of urgency if it wins the presidential election?
We're really concerned about the economy. We're really concerned about the unity of our country. We're really concerned about insecurity. We're really concerned about healthcare.
Yeah, but everybody's concerned
exactly.
about that.
But the main issue
question is, what are you going to do?
The main issue is what we're going to do about it. So, for example, I've told people about insecurity, and the real problem with the insecurity situation in the country is that we're still trying to use a procurement economy to resolve the issues around our insecurity problem. So, if you say to the government, let's resolve this problem, the first thing that crosses the mind is what can we purchase so that we can get a cut. What we are saying is it's got to be different. We have got different viewpoints right now, especially on how we can use technology to resolve some of these issues. We see how helicopters flying Kaduna, Abuja every day, all in a bid to see how we can spot the terrorists in the bushes. When we have drones today that are actually armored drones that can actually do these things and send us real-time information back to our rooms, and we know exactly what we're going to do to address the situation. So again, other people have come here and...
So you think there's a technology gap as a result of the generation gap?
There's a huge technology gap, and there's a huge deficit in the number of security personnel that we have. We're not recruiting. People are even reluctant to be part of this whole process of becoming a security agent right now in the country. We would have to revive the lost morale in our security forces. People have got to believe in the system again.
Right.
We have to think about their safety. We have to be concerned about, terrorists kill soldiers, and you hear 5 soldiers were killed. We don't even know their names. We don't even applaud their families. We don't even celebrate their families.
You sound very passionate,
yes,
and that also very convincing. But do you really hold out hope that you could win this election, or is there some other reason why you're running for office?
Yes. I've been here before. I ran a campaign from 2016 to 2019. I know where the deficits were. I know what we didn't have to actually actualize that. I'm not coming back to the race with nothing. I've got more experience. I've got more people who understand where we're coming from. And I do believe that if we pull out this campaign as we have planned, we're definitely going to be creating a huge upset.
Right. And when people say to you that the race in this presidential election is essentially between 4 candidates, Atiku, Tinubu, Obi, and Kwankwaso, what do you say to them?
I say to them, they haven't seen the best, because the best is actually coming late, which is us.
And then they come back to you and say, wishful thinking.
Well, they can say anything they want to say. We have seen this happen before. In all truth and in all honesty, the Nigerian people just want an alternative. They're sick and tired of the same rhetorics. And, people have called some other candidates because they have actually manned some positions politically in the past. And I say to them, if you go to those places that they have manned in the past, nothing is special. I'm seeing politicians today say they're very upset with President Buhari and they're going to come together to see how they're going to impeach him. And they're doing this at the 11th hour. How would Nigerians ever trust them? The only reason why they're doing this is because they want to secure their re-entry into office, and we all understand that. So if Nigerians are really determined to see something happen differently, they're going to be looking for better options, and I'm saying to them, we are that option.
Right, okay. I want to say, Ahmed Buhari, it's always interesting talking with you. I'm sorry the time was a little bit shorter, but do come back and talk to us again, because you have a very interesting way of putting things, and I think that you have a lot of potential and possibilities in your future political career. And Ahmed Buhari is the vice presidential candidate of the African Democratic Congress. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.